Greetings, dear one. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here. And this wonderful stream as the water is coming out of the lake a little bit and the fresh air feels so good. My topic, the trap of sentimentality. You know, there's certain times of seasons, certain holidays, and all of these things, that there's a lot of depression, a lot of sorrow, a lot of sadness, a lot of joy, you know, all of the opposites going on. And if you notice so many stories and so much on the news, it's all about emotions. How do you feel? You know, are you scared? Are you happy? Are you sad? Isn't this traumatic? I mean, the words that always activate sorrow or sadness about what coulda, shoulda been and wasn't, or was and is over. And we're actually encouraged to be sentimental. And that has nothing to do with love. Because true love is you being fully present right now in your heart. And what happens is people are living in the mind. The images of the past or what they movies. That's why I'm very careful, full of care for my own self, because when people say self-love, a lot of people think that they have that idea that means I love Terry. No. I honor myself by doing that which is going to be for my greatest good and also for the greatest good of all, because we're eternal beings. And our nature is love. Like I saw on the internet today, a baby gorilla who his little mama was too sick to take care of him, so another mama came, another gorilla mama, and the baby just wanted to be cuddled and loved, and it's so sweet and precious. That's my God, the God of compassion and love and beauty and harmony and goodness. That's who we are. And we either choose life and goodness, or we choose death and evil. That means against life. The word live backwards is evil. And living in opposition to who we are by living in the mind instead of the heart. But the heart does not mean sentimentality. It's just like, this is a season, I decide, I want to really just stay home and be quiet, and I'm not going to go be with all the relatives and all that. And it's great. And I just let them know it's just wonderful what you're doing. But people want to say, well, you remember when Uncle Harry was here and Mom and Dad were here, now they're all dead and they're all gone and nobody loves me and I'm all by myself and nobody sent me a Christmas card. I don't have any money to buy anything. It's all just jerking us around. And the sad and sorrowful stories and movies that we could cry and feel sorry for ourselves and self-pity. And there's different kinds of tears. There's the tears of joy, the tears of love, the tears where you have the God bumps all over your body of such great love is tears. But it's not the tears of self-pity and poor me and I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and if I hadn't done that and I hadn't done this and this would have been, you're living in fantasy world because that's in your mind. And you're not a mind, you have a mind. And if you want a mind, then have divine mind. But you don't need a mind because you're a divine being. All that God is, our source, not the psychopathic God that you read about, that this is what they're gonna, it's the old carrot and stick game. I'll reward you if you do what I want. I'm going to beat you up if you don't do what I want. And how to be in our own state of divinity in every moment is, yes, feel the love, but not the attachment to the scene, the scenario. It's almost like you're attached and detached so that you get above attachment and detachment, because that's duality again. That's the splitting of the light into dark. That's the duality of good and bad, and I like you, I don't like you, of lamentation and hankering, the past, the future, this or that. And when they give you two choices, you want the red pill or the blue pill. I'm not taking any of your pills. Oh, you're going to tell me my choices? That's sentimentality. I mean, we can go in the mind. We can think of other times, and so much of the time people think of what they didn't get. I had this a stepson, had been for a short period of time, and he wrote me an email not too long ago, and I really don't ever see him or not involved in the life, and he wanted to proceed to tell me the things his father said about me, but he didn't really agree. Well, when people say things like that, well, nobody really likes you. It's like, they're trying to bum you down, make you feel bad. And then what happens, we have to go drown our sorrows in maybe some kind of poison, like too much alcohol, or do all that kind of stuff, or people overdose on things, and because there's so much pain, but they don't realize where the pain's coming from. The pain and the suffering comes from your mind. There's even great beings. I remember when I was not me, but I was saying, when I was living in India, and this one dentist I went to, it was $5 or $6 to fill a tooth, but there was no anesthetic. I'm going, oh no. But we have it just in case. And I was going, oh no. So, they're drilling away, and you're like, I'm trying to breathe and relax and realize so much of what we call pain and suffering. You take a look if you're suffering. Take a look if you're feeling sorry for yourself. Go out and start a party. Go out and give something. Go out and, you don't have, it's like someone didn't take the best years of your life because you're an eternal being. You're going to give somebody that power? Don't let anybody steal your bliss. You see, and I realize, I let my family know. I love them. They're wonderful. But I have the things I want to do. And they have what they want to do. And what they want to do isn't really what I want to do. We love to see each other, and after a little while, hi, how are you, and hugs. What do people do? Talk about the past. That's why, I really don't see people from the past, in a sense. Not that they're not wonderful and doing their own thing, and they're not seeing me either. But am I going to have sentimentality and go, boy, 6th grade was my greatest grade, and when I was in high school, and I was in this, and I remember that game, that was the greatest game that ever was, and I remember when this, and then I had that, and that was, and then what are you doing? You say. So when you get where the pain and the suffering comes from, and if you're still doing it, it's because you like it. That's your entertainment. That's what you do. Fine. It's your choice. But it's not dishonorable to be joyful, even if other people are miserable. But you're not leading to their misery. You're not wanting them to be miserable. You want them to be happy and fortunate and loving, because that's our natural state of being when we choose goodness. And when we choose goodness, that means that we endeavor to avoid anything that causes distress to a human or an animal. Accidents happen, things like that. But when we're really in our center, in the now, we don't really have accidents. We're not torturing ourselves or others. Our energy is incredibly great because it's incredible to the mind that you could feel that good. Because the goodness doesn't come from the mind, it's you who you are, and honoring yourself. So the sentimentality is just to get people to energize emotions, feelings. And that's what you see in any game, any political situation, any business. My team, your team, our team, we could get you, we could knock you down. People say, well, we need some new blood around here. Really? That's how you consider humans, their blood? Their food? And so if we want the good life, we have to be good. That means we have to be ourselves and stop torturing ourselves with our thinking, old scenarios, going to sad movies we can watch over and over again in our mind. If only it coulda, shoulda, woulda been, then what? It's all about your feelings. Yeah. So, if you want to feel good, what would be good to do? Okay. What would be loving? And now, You can have now be the greatest moment of your entire existence. And every moment be the greatest moment of your entire existence, which is eternity. No beginning and no end. And there was a man, Ernest Holmes, who wrote The Science of Mind. It's a very good book in his studies and really good foundation. And he said, freedom implies suffering. That means you can suffer all you want. But if you don't find out the cause of suffering, your own mind, and at giving power to others, making choices and doing things that don't honor who you really are, but because you get paid for it, or because somebody else says you have to or they won't like you. And I realized when I built my big television ministry in the late 70s and 80s and all of the work that I did, and it was great. But I realized, what may I say? If I live in my old life, I'm denying the greatness, the beauty, the love, and all of that's available to me now. That was wonderful. That was beautiful. This now is wonderful and beautiful. And the only place you can ever live and ever are is with yourself. So when you realize where the pain and suffering, if you don't realize yet and you don't believe me, watch your thoughts. Notice how you respond and react. Notice, do you like to cry yourself to sleep and with the bottle and drown your tears? Really? Are you that helpless and that weak that you can't generate a life? It's all them, and they did it. My husband made me do it. My wife made me do it. My mother made me do it. My father made me do it. The government made me do it. No, your mind. You believed your mind, the second voice. The voice of fear. Hey, give yourself the greatest gift. Yourself. With your beloved God, source partner within, with all, harmonizing with everyone. Be the joy you've been seeking. Be a party going somewhere to happen. And it can happen right where you are. Put on a little dance music, little Christmas music, or if you got some other thing, a little thing, and just have a party. You and the cat, you and the dog, you and the elephant, whatever it may be. It's all within you. Yeah. And then every day is a holiday, a holy day, a divine day, a precious day.